Before I do that, though, I have to make this point. This was the BIG Meltah that I almost forgot to share with you. So, this is YHWSHUAH speaking. And then the back of the Hallelujah Hebrew translation version helps us to understand that he's speaking of himself in the feminine context. So we know that feminine is usually submissive. Masculine is the headship. You know, if you submit to your headship, then it's a feminine air about it, where the masculine is the leading. So we know that there are many females. I mean, I'm one of them that can struggle with being controlling. And I mean, here YHWSHUAH is a man on the earth with the utmost authority to be masculine and controlling if he wanted to. And he's speaking of himself in a feminine connotation of being submissive. I, the one who's willing to submit. This was also revealed in a separate study that I had done over here. The first time I had done a full-on Otiot study like this, because I couldn't find a word. I wanted to find the word mountain and just ended up doing the whole verse. Same thing. He referred to himself in the feminine context over there too as the one willing to submit. We know that YHWSHUAH submitted to Yahweh in all things. He wouldn't speak on his own accord, just like the Ruach doesn't. So if we are to be Talmudim of his, to be disciples, students, followers of him, we need to be submissive. And the only way that we can do that is by the continual washing in the Word and filling of the Ruach. And so when he says I in this one, and over here he had said you, it was from Marcos chapter 11 verses 22 and 23. He says, your work increases your meltah. You know, so your work in YHWSHUAH's cultivating field, it's his work. So you speaking to us, you and I, echad, one, if we want to be one with him, we have to have that feminine, submissive spirit. So just remember that he has the utmost authority to be controlling if he wants, and he wasn't. He was meek. It's like Alan has a video on meekness. I highly recommend you watch that one too, because he mentions that the word meek in the Otiot, it's referring to, you know, a horse. I mean, those are powerful creatures, and they submit to the instruction of their owner, their rider, you know, whoever's directing the reins. You know, they could throw that person off if they wanted and say, I'm going my own way, you know, but they don't. So that's the same kind of spirit we want to have too here. So let me get this back over where you can see. Okay, so we're over here now. We've just talked about the Aleph and the Tau, I, the beginning to the end, just like he says in the book of Chazon, Revelation, I am the Aleph and the Tau. As one who is being saved by their bending to the cleansing, the one who is being saved to the bending of their cleansing, and instruction of the word, as one who have their thoughts on Elohim all the time, no matter what their interests are. YHWSHUAH. And are joined to Yahweh by belonging to him, hooking like fishing, like when we cast our nets when we fish, hooking like fishing, like when we cast our lines as Talmudim in Yahushua's work, adding more to be yoked to Yahweh.